Yes, I was here. How's it going?
We'll start with questions from Damien.
How different was it, Greg, to sit and watch instead of being on the sideline?
It's hard to sit up there and not feel like you're in, have influence, but the view's better. Like seeing the game from up there is better than seeing the game from field level, but the disconnection is difficult. So we don't want to do that too many more times.
Just your thoughts on first off the start. Joseph gets the early goal.
Yeah.
You guys get 3 there. Just your thoughts how the attack looked and you guys looked in defense.
Yeah, I thought it was great to get off to a quick start and get an early goal. Set piece. The game was just really like back and forth early in the game, and I felt like both teams gassed out pretty early for the start, and then had to regroup a little bit because it was just ball was just going through midfield so easily either direction. And in the first 15 minutes, I felt like there wasn't a flow to the game. There was an attack and then a series of set pieces, and then attack, kind of a series of set pieces, stuff like that. So, but it was good. It was good. Really important just to, in a game like today, getting on top of the game early is important. Then getting the second one. I felt like if we could have kept our foot on the gas a little bit more, then I feel like we had the chance to maybe pick up the third and really kind of, I don't know, bury them a little bit earlier. I know when you get to this part of the season and you're not playing for anything and you're on the road, and if you can get on top of a team early, it can set the tempo and for the day. So I felt like we had some chances. Then of course Dayon finds some space facing forward, and the classy finish that we're all used to seeing from Dayon, just slotted it away to the near post, brought them back within one, obviously, but we were able to pull away. Joe had some really good looks. I think the one that he hit off the post for me was probably the best team attack of the entire night. Just was a really good action off of the right side, and the movement was really coordinated and smart, and Gabe slipped him in. It was a great, or actually it was the cutback, I think. It was the cutback one. But it was for me, it was one of the best attacks of all night, and we weren't able to, a little unfortunate not to finish it. But again, I think it was good to pick up the next goals. I think it just, once you get ahead, you get up 3-1, 4-1, then I feel like you're managing the game a little bit more, and that's a positive. I did feel, going back to the beginning of the game when it was open, I felt like if we could have done a little better job of when we broke the pressure and we got deep into their half of the field, if we weren't in such a rush sometimes to try to hit the big ball and to finish it, because they had 2 strikers on the field and 2 pretty attacking wide midfielders or wingers, who we didn't really make defend much in the early part of the game because we were rushing the attacks, not finishing clean. Then those guys were kind of cheating and hanging out because we weren't forcing them to come back and defend, and that's what the game was, getting the game back and forth. So we could have managed it a little bit better so that it wasn't quite so open, and forced them to have to defend lower in their half the field. But I felt like we sniffed the opportunity to score goals, and we kept going for it, and so that kind of opened it up a little bit at times.
Hey Greg, thanks so much for talking to us. Where did you actually watch the game from? Are you at Liberty today?
Yeah, I was in one of the radio boxes. Yeah, I think it was like 4 or something. It was quite just behind our bench in one of those boxes. So good view, almost midfield. Pretty much where I would have been standing, just a lot higher.
So you recommend reaching out to the ticket ones, okay. So Joseph had that first half hat trick, obviously. What led to his success, and how important is it to get him going like that before the Luke comes in?
Yeah, again, I think the spaces that were available for him to run through and attack, some of them in transitions. A couple where we were, a couple of his opportunities, again, came off of good sort of organized movements where we were able to find him coming in from an angle in front of the goal. So I felt like when the game is open like that and there's space, it's just going to play into Joe's hands because of his pace and his ability to get in behind and to see the channels very wide open. So I think that's a big part of it. And I felt like when we did break lines and we did get into the forward movement of our attacks, then things started to go pretty fast. I didn't feel like we got bogged down in the top end of our attacks. There's times when I felt like we were a little slow at the start of the attacks, but once we got through the lines, I felt like we were going to try to go to goal. We weren't we weren't slowing the game down too much. A little more execution in some of those actions, and there was a handful, probably more chances and goals for us if we would have been just a little cleaner in a few of those.
Along those lines, on the chances missed, it seems like Gabriel had got a couple of chances over there on his wing as well. Didn't really get anything from it, even though he obviously put in the work. What do you think is missing from that final action or that final moment for him to go ahead and be successful?
Yeah, I think, he's been, last week we sat down and watched all of his actions, his final actions. Sometimes just technically, I think he's almost trying to be like too perfect with it, and sometimes I think he can go at it with a little more force and not try to be perfect, but put a little more on it. And because I think when he's trying to finish it and curl it so much, a little power comes off of it, and the keeper is able to get across or dive, make a save, things like that. There's something technically that I would love for him to shift a little bit in his final action. But I think we're trying to work through it on the training ground, just for him again to be more aggressive when he goes to that final, to hit the final shot or the final play there. The other is that I think for him a couple more times, if he would make a pass and then make the run after the pass towards the goal, I do think we would find him a couple more times in finishing chances. I think we missed him a couple times as well, which probably frustrated him as well. So I think he's just got to keep working. We got to keep looking for him. And I want him to be, when he does go to strike or to finish, I'd like for him to be a little more power through the ball and try to be not quite so perfect with it sometimes. I think there's always a balance there. And I think his technique is good enough that if he hit it a little harder, he would make it tougher on the goalkeeper sometimes to get to those. So that's just my opinion anyway.
Last one for me, Craig. 3 games left, 1 point back from DC United in the Women's Spoon race. Is that something you guys are focused on at all, or is it just trying to finish the season game by game and doing the best you guys can at this point?
Well, we certainly don't want to finish last, but we're definitely focused on our performances, focused on getting some players, again, as many minutes as we can get some of these young guys. It's helping them. The more Harbor plays, the more it's benefiting them, the more, even guys like Maudy and others, Ruben getting some time. Ruben could have scored a couple goals tonight, right? He was in a couple of really good spots. So Elijah, the more games he gets, probably the more his starting position for next year will be just in a better spot as he comes into camp. So trying to balance off, again, continuing to do the things that we think are going to help us long term while we're trying to win these games in the short term. We get some tough games. Obviously, Dallas's future depends on our games with them, and so it seems like they're just on the outside of the playoff picture with 2 games against us, and so and then we'll finish with Minnesota, who's going to be probably vying for positioning maybe and who they're going to play. There's the head coach right there. So we got 3 tough games. 3 tough games, and we're certainly playing to win them, but we also have some long-term things we're trying to focus on as well. Hopefully we get some guys healthy too. Nasi's closer. Marco was in training, and then we decided to keep him out, and he decided this wasn't the right game, maybe Wednesday. Let's see. Obviously we got Julian and Amiro back in. Christian's getting closer. Lucas isn't quite as close as the other guys. So hopefully as we get down the stretch, those guys will also get be a little more available just to finish it off.
Last one for Greg.
Hi, Coach. I'm wondering if I could ask you about the red card real quick. We had a little bit of discussion. I'm assuming where you were sitting, you had access to a replay, hopefully. It looks like he comes in, knows that he can't get to the ball. At the same time, there's not a whole lot of contact with the shoulder or the cleats. What did you see in that play? Was that the right call in your mind?
Yeah, it was interesting. I actually was sitting next to one of our members of our staff, and I said to him, that one fell into a weird area for me. Like, it could have been a red card. It could have maybe not been a red card. I think the lack of intention to just try to play the ball and to go through somebody who is kind of vulnerable as they're trying to clear a ball probably pushes it a little bit towards some kind of a red card. But I think when you talk about like real dangerous contact to the legs or something like that, I didn't see a ton of that. So it sat in a position where if you give them a red, it's probably going to stay a red, and if you don't, then maybe it doesn't get changed. But I thought it was I mean, he definitely was going through his body. He wasn't trying to necessarily block the ball or anything like that. So I can understand it. But I understood, you know, that it was kind of sits in that gray area maybe a little bit. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to change the game though. Oh yeah, you're right. Who let this guy in there?
I thought Dan was gonna go. I was gonna say the oldest goes first though.
We're now joined by Diego Fagundez. Start with the question from Damian.
Diego, you moved a couple more steps closer to the 88 club. Now you're so close to it, what does those numbers mean to you?
Those are just numbers. It's nice to accomplish there, but like at the end of the day, I'd rather be playing for a playoff spot. I think it's a frustrating thing to accomplish when the season hasn't been the best. At the end of the day, yeah, it's an accomplishment as a player. It's an amazing, but like I said, I'd rather be doing other things and accomplish that as a team. I think what I'm looking forward more to is Wednesday. We have a trophy in front of us and an opportunity to lift something at home and give back to our fans who've been here from the beginning. I think that's more important.
How do you carry this momentum over to Wednesday?
What?
How do you carry this momentum over to Wednesday?
Everybody, I think, today showed up. You see everybody's working each other. Everybody's defending, everybody's attacking, and that's exactly what we need. I think today we finished a bunch of chances. We probably could have had a couple more. At the end of the day, we still need to fix a little bit on ourselves defensively and how to prevent goals from happening, especially Toluca, who is so good at scoring goals, especially in the last couple of weeks. So as long as we lock them in defensively, I think attacking will be solid. And it's nice to see that Joe has a hat trick today. I got one myself, and we created so many chances.
The team had 4 goals today, a very good offensive performance, had even more chances. Is this the type of offensive performance that you're more used to seeing from the Galaxy? Obviously, their chances have been a little bit more limited this year, but is this a kind of indication of who you guys truly are, or without disrespecting Sporting Kansas City at all, more a reflection of where their defense lies?
You know, it's crazy that every team that we play against, they always tell us, I don't know how you guys are last. And it's the same question every single time. And you start looking back and you're like, we do have a good team. And it's just, where did we slip? Where did we make mistakes? And yeah, we did all that. And I think last year we scored a lot of goals, but we also let in a lot of goals. This year, we're not maybe scoring as many as we did last year, and I think that's the difference. And if you're scoring goals and you're scoring more than the other team, of course you're going to win games. But sometimes being those teams that you can score 1 or 2 goals and keep it 0, those are the teams that make playoffs. And I think that's where we weren't good enough this year. We need to definitely work on that. And it's from everybody. It's not just from defense to offense. It's from all 11 players, all 18 players, all 23 players, whoever's on the bench, and everybody needs to be better at that. And I think next year it's something that everybody needs to work on. But I think more importantly, it's Wednesday. Everybody needs to be prepared for that. And it doesn't matter who's on the field. We all need to step up and making sure that we don't give any chances to the other team. And when we have our own chances, we need to bury them.
In regards to Wednesday, you've lined up a lot with Evan Cirio this year in kind of a new position for yourself. What has that understanding been like for you guys this year? And then leading into that game against Toluca, how important will your partnership be to go ahead and carry that game? Thank you.
To be honest, when I play with Edwin, it's kind of one of those things that we look at each other, we're like, all right, we're locking it in. Let's just finish the game out strong. And the guy is a hard worker. He's feisty like me, and it brings us together a little more. But I think our midfield, like at the end of the day, we have a really strong midfield. I think sometimes, we give passes away, or sometimes we get broken, but that's part of the game. but it doesn't matter who's in there. I think Elijah today did a good job in his amount of running, his work rate definitely helped us a lot, breaking through the ball and driving at defenders. I think it helps. And then you have someone like Edwin who can break people up, goes into challenges, doesn't care who you are, and it makes the game a little simpler. But at the end of the day, I just want to win a game, and whatever it takes, whatever position I play, I just want to make sure that we win.
¿Qué tal, Diego? Buenas noches. Primero, felicitarte por el gol. Guíanos por esa jugada, cómo se forma hasta que tú la concibes y la metes. Y tal parece que cada vez que te cambias el color entras en una racha goleadora, que ojalá siga hasta el miércoles.
No, gracias. La verdad, primero el color del pelo me lo quise cambiar, algo nuevo. Dije, creo que es el tiempo de hacerlo. Hoy era el día de Marco, entonces el pelo blanco se lo dejé a él, pero nada. Creo que en el gol, si me acuerdo bien, ellos iban atacando, Chris la robó ahí en el medio y creo que me la dio a mí. Y yo encaré, se la di a Joe y Joe se la dio a Peck y yo hice la corrida en medio y Peck me la dejó solo y fue la verdad la jugada muy, muy linda entre equipos que se pudo lograr y la parte más fácil fue la mía, creo que fue solo patear. Pero la verdad estamos muy felices, lo más importante se viene ahora, que es el miércoles, un partido muy difícil, que tenemos que estar todos enfocados, preparados y creo que queremos todos levantar un trofeo acá en casa con nuestros fanáticos, con la gente que del primer día los apoyaron y eso es algo muy importante. Yo ya lo dije el otro día que hay equipos que van a los playoffs y no tienen la oportunidad de levantar un trofeo y nosotros este año vamos a poder levantar uno, así que lo que hay que hacer es enfocarnos en eso y estar listos.
Esta goleada, independientemente de que ya no se tiene posibilidades de playoff, ¿qué deja anímicamente, sobre todo para este juego de miércoles? Y para ti, ¿por qué es tan importante ganar esta Copa el miércoles?
No, lo que es importante es que los jugadores estén preparados. Creo que lo más lindo es tener a un jugador como yo que le vienen los goles y hoy pudo hacer 3, que esté listo para el miércoles, para que tenga las oportunidades, la confianza. Creo que eso es muy importante y hoy creo que todos tuvimos la confianza que se puede ganar los partidos y con goles, como les dije a todos, hay que mejorar un poco en la defensa, como siempre, de todos los jugadores tenemos que mejorar y cuando tenemos la oportunidad para hacer goles hay que hacerlos, eso la verdad es algo que hay que hacer. Y lo del miércoles para mí, como te dije, es una copa, no todos los equipos juegan para una copa al año, así que una copa en el gabinete es una copa en el gabinete, no importa lo que diga la gente, que si importa, si no importa, a nosotros nos importan todas las copas, todos los trofeos que tenemos encima y creo que la gente que dice que no importa son la gente que no tiene la oportunidad de jugar, así que nosotros vamos a tomarla como la tenemos, está al frente de nosotros, un equipo muy difícil y la vamos a jugar una final, es una final.
Hi Diego, lots of younger players like Harbor, Mauricio, Elijah, Rindolph, all of them getting into the team and all credit to them performed really well at this level it seems like. How do you go about being a mentor or a leader to them and what's that relationship like?
I think you need to look at yourself and know where you were. When I was younger, I had people around me that taught me things and all I had to do was listen. I think that's the important thing for them. When you listen and you take advice from peers, from teammates, from coaches, whoever's around you, they're always trying to make you better. And sometimes you just listening and just taking that information is important. I think some people don't like taking information. They think they know what it's like, what they have to do. But I think if you take as much information, you'll take it to the next level. And for me, I just try to help everybody around me. I want everybody around me to be better. I want everybody to know what they're doing. And I think I've been in the league so many years that I know how to read the game a little more. So when I go out there, like I said, I just want to win the game, and it doesn't matter what position I play or who's in front of me or who's next to me. I just try to make people around me better, and I want them to make me better.
Hi, Diego. Today's game was somewhat unusual in the sense that it was quite open at times. I think I saw one of the companies that puts out the XG had you guys at 5.7 or something. I can't remember what the other team was, but certainly not your typical MLS game in that sense. And I think it's fair to say on Wednesday, probably a different game from that, possibly, potentially, probably. How do you transition over with your mindset from a game like this to to a game that might be played very differently by both teams?
I think, first of all, I think we need to keep our foot on the accelerator. I think everybody needs to come hungry like we did today. I think everybody wanted to win. The XG, I don't know how they even calculate that, but I think from going to Kansas City last time and not having a shot, them not having a shot on target and winning the game, I think we deserved it today to come out here and really punish them. But like I said, soccer games are played the day of, and whoever is prepared for those games and whoever's ready and finishes their chances are going to wins the game. I think Wednesday everybody just needs to come in and be prepared for a final, and it doesn't matter who's in front of them, and we just have to make sure that we finish the game with more goals than them, and at the end of the day, we just need to win that. I think everybody is prepared for it, and now we need to turn around and say, you know what, we're playing a final in a couple of days, so the most important thing is rest, recover, and be prepared for that. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
La celebración.
De Ricky. All right, Coach.
Gracias, Diego.
Oh, gracias.
We're now joined by First Assistant Coach Dan Calichman, man of the people.
Hi, everybody. Man of the people. That's exactly, I appreciate that.
Hey, Dan, over here. Any added emotions to the night? Having played the Galaxy so many years ago, and now you're leading the group for an
There was added emotion. I mean, I'm glad we won. I didn't want to have to face Greg in the locker room with the loss. I certainly didn't want to do that. But it was a lot of fun being there and stepping up and coaching the team. But it's easy, right? Any of the assistant coaches, right, could do the same job. Greg does a great job mentoring us. We spend a lot of time working out on the training field, so the game is the showcase, right? The work's been done, and it was nice being out there tonight.
You look at the showcase, you see Paint, Joseph getting that hat trick. How did you see his night sort of develop there? And then the group as a whole. You guys created a lot of chances, scored 4, probably 3. You probably want more than that, but.
Yeah, we probably could have had more than that, but don't need to be greedy. It's great to see Joe scoring goals. Kansas City play an interesting way, right? Tactically, they send both fullbacks high, right? That exposes the team, right? And it's no blame on Kansas City. They're a wonderful team, and that's just how they play, but it opens them up when they lose the ball. And, with Joe's speed and Gabe's ability to get wide, it can cause people trouble. And I felt like we did a nice job of exposing certain areas when, they sent players forward. So I thought we did a nice job with that. But, guys were on today, whether, it was just, a typical night that, their coach was up. I'm sure that gave them incentive. They wanted to win for Greg, right, who was watching the game. I think that incentivized them, that they, watching from up top, he can see all. And, they worked hard tonight. They deserved the W.
Hey, Coach, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the win as well. You mentioned Greg kind of like looking from on high. You were also in another position as well. Did you happen to notice anything different from your point of view, from your changed point of view this evening, or was it, more of the same?
Kind of more of the same. I stood up more. I usually don't stand up as much when, I'm the assistant, so I stood up and, tried to get the team going at times where I felt like we were a little sluggish. But that's what Greg does, right? It was different in that way. But again, I would reiterate that, the work's been done already, right? Like, these guys know what's coming at them. They're prepared. They know what we need to do to be at our best. And then it's just kind of reminding them at times, right, that this is what we need to do.
Amito made his return tonight.
Rusty, man. He looked awfully rusty to me.
I was just about to ask you what you thought of his performance, what he brings back to this defense.
Amiro's wonderful, right? He's wonderful, and he's still a young defender, and it's great to have him back. But what he brings is, he's tenacious, and he has speed that is second to none in this league. So that's what he brings. He's been out with an injury, and we're trying to get him back, and hopefully he'll be back for Wednesday. But, he looked a little rusty. That's just fair.
Speaking of Wednesday, what would you like to see improved defensively before the team goes into that title?
I thought in the first half we had a difficult time dealing with Kansas City straight down the middle, right? I felt like they were kind of playing either Decky or Mason, right, the other striker, and they were just kind of combining right through us. So I thought, we just got to make sure that our pivots are staying connected with our center backs, that our forwards are staying connected with our pivots and not getting extended, and just be kind of tighter defensively.
Hey Coach, thanks for talking to us. Congrats on the win.
My pleasure.
So Mauricio Cuevas, 2 assists tonight, another wonderful performance. I mean, it just seems like this kid is getting better and better every single day. The biggest thing really that we've seen is his decision making in the final third. I mean, you see that for the first goal, right? Instead of taking the shot himself, lays it off. And you just talk to us about his growth as a person, as a player, and what you think that next level is for him. Is it just being better than final third and just taking the paces every day?
Yeah, Mauricio was not rusty. He was sharp as can be, and he has been, and he's having a wonderful year. He had a wonderful game. He attacks so beautifully, and he's got great timing. He can cross a ball as good as anyone in this league. But yeah, I think you raise a good point as far as better decisions in that final third, finding the guy maybe a little better, what he can improve upon. We all can improve on our group to be better one-on-one defenders, to be better team defenders. There's occasions where sometimes our outside guys, Mauricio included, can get backdoored with a run. But all in all, Moro's coming along beautifully, and he's blossoming, and he's tenacious, right? He's a competitive kid, and he just wants to be out there, and he wants to compete. And again, he was able to find room, right, with Gabe coming inside and Mauricio coming around. That's a difficult combination, especially if you're playing in, let's say, a 4-4-2, and that guy's more of a winger, right? He doesn't really want to defend. He wants to kind of attack, right? It's very difficult for the opposition then, and Mauricio really hurt them tonight.
Hi, Coach. First off, for fans maybe not as familiar with yourself, could you please give us some insight as to your role, the kind of work you do with players, planning, roster decisions?
My name is Dan Calichman. I was born February 21st, 1968. That makes me pretty old. I was around when the Galaxy started in 1996. Rumor has it I was the first captain. I played center back. I don't know what more you want. I have 3 children. My role is, right, I'm one of the assistant coaches for Greg. I've been with Greg since he moved to Toronto. I have been fortunate enough to stay with him when he moved to the Galaxy. That he took me with him. There's no greater pleasure for me to be coaching the Galaxy, since this is the club that I first played for, and it's a privilege every day I go out there, and I'm just, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So hopefully you've learned enough about me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My dad was, he's around your age. He was there watching you in that 96 season.
Yeah, he's a fan.
Yes, sir.
I love your dad.
He loves you. But something else, just talking about these younger players. You just mentioned Mauricio Cuevas, but players like Carver Miller, Elijah Winder, Rindolph, they've really stepped in recently, and it feels like they're ready for this level. Does that kind of open up some options in terms of planning roster decisions for next year?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, that all comes into play, but they've all doing really well. Harbor's been, right, wonderful. Ruben came in today and played great. Cuevas, we talked about already. Listen, Amiro Garces is a young kid, right? 22, 23 maybe. We have some young guys. This group of players is only going to get better. Who else? Kids coming out of Galaxy 2, right? There are some talented players coming out of there as well. So I feel like, again, this is Greg's influence, right? First team, but then making sure that kind of through the academy, we're all playing a similar way. So when they move from one team to the next, it's the same style of play. So they don't have to really relearn. They just have to make decisions faster, right? And that's a lot easier than trying to learn new systems and have a million things in your head. You're just trying to play the game faster, right? Because the higher you go up, the faster the game gets.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you, Dan.
Ta-da!
Dan.
My pleasure, everybody, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
And you were late, just like a proper head coach.
Thank you so much. Hi, Joe.
David, did you get any?
We are now joined by Joseph Paintsil, Mr. Hattrick himself. First, MLS career hat-trick. First MLS career hat-trick. We'll start with Damien.
Congrats, Joe. Just walk us through how you get the first goal there early on. What kind of confidence did that give you in tonight's game?
Yeah, the first goal was something that we train when we train about. So it was not really like a surprising thing for me. We tried in the last game, but it couldn't work. But today we decided to try it again, and unfortunately it just happened. So I was just happy when I had the first goal. I had that kind of feeling and confidence that I was just alone moving around without any aggressive contact, nothing. So I felt really good in the game, just to run behind them, and they also give me a lot of spaces, and I also use my space to do whatever I need to do.
And then I think it was maybe, I mean, the second goal, I think Gabriel slipped it behind the Cuevas got it over to you. How did you see that play sort of develop?
Yeah, so when I saw Gabe with his action, and I saw Cuevas with his run, I knew it's gonna go to Cuevas. So even though I was a little bit behind, I just need to just go into the second post and just surprise the defenders because they were a little bit sleeping. So I just ran in behind, and Cuevas gave me that ball. And I think we've done this before. Was it last year also? So it was also like a similar ball from Ricky to Cuevas, and from me to it's like the cup game that we played the last time. That was last year. Yeah.
That was Cuevas on the right.
Yes.
Hey, Joe, congratulations for your 3 goals. Is tonight's performance give you a special extra confidence for a Wednesday Campeones Cup?
Yeah, it also adds confidence also to my game, but I always have the confidence to always play this kind of games, especially the Campeones Cup game, and it's something that I'm willing and waiting for to give everything. So I think this hat trick really boosts my confidence. And for that, I will just take it into the game on Wednesday and to give everything, and the team gives everything, and we'll just see whatever will happen. Thank you.
Hey, Joseph, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the win and the hat trick. Blessings. Did you prepare any certain way differently this week, or did you work on anything differently in training in the lead up to the game?
No, I think it was the same thing. It's just a different opponent, but it's just the same play that we always play. I'm someone that when you always give me the space, I will just make use of the space. And it's not something that we train in training, but it's just how to, whilst they are playing two forwards, how we need to play them out and everything. But the formation stays the same, and the way we play stays the same, just to put the ball out as quick as possible to use the lines. So I think it was just a normal thing for us, but nothing really changes. It was just that today was a good day in office for me.
And then as a team, you took apart Sporting Kansas City. So do you feel like that's more of an indication of who this team really is to go out and score 4 goals and maybe could have had 6, 7, potentially 8? Or is it, more of a reflection on where Sporting Kansas City is?
No, it's not just because it's Kansas City. I think we can do it, and we have proved it before. It's just that this season we're just having some difficulties. It's not easy for us, but it's always like this. But at playing against Kansas City, it's like we're playing against them in their home game. They never even hit a shot, and they came here, so they know that it's also going to happen, even though they scored, but it's not because of the team. That's why we had these four goals. I think in the cup game also we had 3 goals or something. So it's something that we are capable of. It's just that we don't have the luck to make it keep happening. Just lose concentration and lose some easy balls for the counter attack to us, and we just always make it so easy for the other opponents to have access to our goal.
4 goals in the last 2 games. We saw you with Ghana recently. How important is that good form as you work your way back in the national team setup, especially with an eye towards the World Cup here in the United States?
Yeah, it's really important for me to always make my mark, especially when I'm in my team, my club, LA Galaxy. With the national team is something that is really something also really important towards to the World Cup. It also boosts me that it also gives me that energy to also go to my national team to do whatever I need to do, no matter the amount of minutes that they give me. I don't really care in my national team though, but the most important thing is my club. And the most important thing is for me to focus on my club, and the national team when it comes it's kudos, but it also gives me like an additional power to also go to the national team with these 2 games that we have for the qualification of the World Cup. We just hope and wish that we just win our first game and then we just go through to the World Cup. Thank you.
All right, so thanks for talking to us. Congratulations for the hat trick.
Thank you.
You've lined up next to Harbour Miller for the last couple of games. Young guy breaking through the first team. Harbour Miller. Harbour Miller. Yeah. Just talk to us about his performance, his game, how he helps you. I mean, he's been really good on that left flank, willing to take on defenders. How have you seen that partnership?
Yeah, he's really young and really talented. I think he's right back, but him being so young and playing right back and playing position like this is also like going on attack and coming back like the same way as playing a right back. He's been amazing the games that he has featured, and really kudos to him because he's really giving everything as a young player, and I really appreciate him a lot. I wish he keeps going like this and for the next game, for the next season and the next season, because this is a club that it's much more easier for everybody to log in and just show himself, and he's doing exactly what he has to do, and he's doing really great, and I'm really happy for him. Thank you.
Hi, Joseph. Sort of piggybacking on that last question, Harbour Miller here on the left to sort of open yourself up to play a lot closer with Gabriel Peck. How different is it playing sort of closer to him, maybe right next to him, versus across the field from each other?
Yeah, Harbour is. I see him as a right back, but now I don't think he's a right back anymore. I think maybe he needs to play also in the left wing. So I think, he's doing amazing. He's doing amazing, and he's always giving us also options. And that's something that is also really great because it gives me also a lot of options and behind a lot of space behind the defenders. As you can see, whenever he has the ball, it's really dangerous. It's either they come to him or they leave me alone. And as you can see, he also did what he needed to do, pushed really hard and gave me an assist in the game. So he's really like amazing player, and I really love playing against him. But I don't love playing. I love playing with him, but I don't love playing against him, especially when we are playing, when we are training. He's really, really hard on me. I don't know why, but yeah, I really love him.
And last one for me, Coach Dan and Greg Vanney, they both talked about the planning the team does before the game. Were you expecting such an open match where you would have so much of an opportunity to shine?
Yeah, I think the game we knew that we had the upper hand because as we reflect to what we did in their home pitch, we did whatever we need to do. Ball possession was on our side and everything. They never even shoot a ball on their post. So they come in here, it's either they just just work their way through and just see whether they can win. But moreover, also, I think they also had the confidence that whenever teams come here, they always take points and just go. So they also had that kind of energy to also win here. But the players were really focused because if we don't win this game, then our confidence going to the next game, which is on Wednesday, will be limited. So I think everybody was really fully focused to win this game so that we can get the energy and the confidence to focus on the Wednesday game. And I think we did that as a team and as an individual, and I'm really happy for the team at least winning a point in our home to prepare for the Wednesday game. That's really important for us. So we just hope and just wish that we just win the Wednesday Cup, and then we just give glory to God. Thank you.
Hi, Joe. I just remembered that we spoke to you a while back, I can't remember when it was exactly, when your mom had just arrived here. And being stunned when you said she hadn't watched you play in person in 10 years, I think it was,
Yep.
something like that, yeah. I was just wondering, so I can't remember exactly when it was, as I said, is she still here? If not, what was that time like for you?
Yeah, she is still here. She is still home, and you know she likes to be a little bit home, eat his African food, and he's not really like familiar with all these games, coming to the stadium and all that. I really understand him, but sometimes I also need to give him that kind of rest, because the reason why I brought him here is for him to go for checkups and have a lot of rest. So I think me bringing her, you know, in and out, and sometimes when she's even there, she's even sleeping. So it's better for her to just be there, be at home, and just eat and just sleep and just relax and just feel better. So, but his prayers is always with me whenever I'm going out to play a game. We always pray together before I go. So his blessings are always with me, even though he's not in the stands, but his spirit is always with me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have a question that's not official. Do you think that holding a baby up is what led to your hat trick? What happened with the kiddo that you carried into the match? Were they just scared?
Oh yeah, I think he was a little bit scared, because when we were going out from the tunnel, I think he almost fell. So I just picked him up, and then he started to cry.
Oh.
So then it was really like emotional for me. So I just pick it.
Him
Yes, I have to. I have to.
Like, who's this kid that Joe's holding in his arm?
I have
It's a good
to.
luck charm.
Yeah. He gave me the 3 goals though. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck Wednesday.